like, let's say you get to a spot like that you put all this effort in. Let's say you're scouting, right?
Yep.
And you get there and you see some hunter sign. Like, is that an immediate no, or is that a like, well, I'll have to see type thing? Was this from last year? Was this from 2 years ago? You know, because I've found that hunters a lot of times either they're real habitual and like go to the same spot over and over again, or they'll hunt one spot and then never come back type thing. So
because it was too hard to access.
Or they just didn't see anything or whatever, and they just abandoned it, right? Are you reading, like, how do you read that as well?
I always read other hunters' sign, and it's the hunting public back during COVID. They put so much popularity into hunting public land, and they still are. You know, they're doing a great job. So a lot of really avid hunters are doing the extra work to go back to these remote areas, you know, islands in cattail marshes, islands in a swamp, stuff like that, or dry humps in swamps and stuff. And a lot of times when I cross rivers and creeks and stuff like that, or use a canoe to go down a river and then get out, I won't say a lot of times, but occasionally I will see another hunter's either a stand in a tree, because not that many hunters hunt out of a saddle, stand in a tree, or places where trees are cut where they made shooting lanes. And typically when you get back into those remote locations, if I do find other hunter locations, they've definitely prepared shooting lanes. Even though you're not supposed to cut stuff, they know nobody's going to come back there and check them, so they cut shooting lanes, and I do the same thing. But no, I try to avoid it if it looks like it's being hunted on a regular basis. And keep in mind, in Michigan, we have got so much public land and sections of public land. So, and a lot of times when you get back into these swamps, they're pretty big. So I will also look at the hunter location, because a lot of hunters, I view most hunter locations as deer deflectors, to be perfectly honest with you. That's the way I view a lot of it. So I'll look at the location, see if it's a good location, see how high the stand is, see how well his shooting lanes are prepared, and I will judge his hunting skill set on that. And if I don't think his hunting skill set is good enough to kill mature bucks, I will just look at him as a deer deflector, and I'll just try to hunt around him, maybe at least minimum of 100 yards or so. Okay. Because if he's a deer deflector, the deer know he's there too.
Right.
Okay. So they're just going to avoid his location. And usually when you cross into these areas, it's not like it's a 50-yard area. It may be 200 yards, or 200 acres of bedding area, swamp, low ground, whatever. So a lot of times you'll cross a river and you'll walk through some heavy brush along the edge of the security cover, along the edge of the waterway. And you'll open up into oaks, and once in a while you'll find a lost apple tree, because a lot of that stuff used to be pasture for cows and stuff. And it's just like a deer utopia back there. And those deer, you got to keep in mind, during the rut phases, typically when I'm back in those places on public land, it's during the rut phases. So those bucks move around in those areas during the rut phases. When they're with does, they're pushing does, they're breeding does they'll breed a doe, they'll bed down, he'll bed down 10 or 15 yards downwind of her, and then 20, 30 minutes later, he'll get up and walk over, and she'll run 40, 50 yards, and he'll breed her again. You know, he may breed her 10 or 15 times during the course of the day, and they're moving around in that bedding area every time, because she always will move someplace, run someplace, and they'll do a little chase thing, and then he'll breed her. And also bucks that are in there, there's does are bedding in there as well. So there's bucks in there searching for does. So that you get a lot of daytime movements in those areas, because it's got the adequate security cover, and you've lost most of your competition. That's where they push those deer. And then during the rut phases, the bucks are actually moving somewhat during daylight hours.